الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين صدق الله العلي العظيم وقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أقرب ما يكون العبد لربه وهو ساجد فأكثر الدعاء أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد ما شاء Allah. Two Eids have come together, the Eid of Jummah and Eid Ul Fitr, bringing double joys and happiness to all believers. And I say, as I always say, Eid is for all believers. Just as Qiyamah is for everyone. Those who believe and accept, those who obey and perform righteous actions, Qiyamah is for them as well. As for those who do not believe but reject faith, and for those who ascribe partners unto Allah, for them also there is Qiyamah. However, it brings different feelings and emotions to everyone. Again I say, Eid is for everyone. Those who upheld the month by observing the days, by fasting, and standing up for Tarawih, reading the auspicious book of Allah, for such believers, Eid brings a different kind of joy and pleasure. To some, it brings some joy and happiness. To some, Eid brings mixed feelings, some joy, some sorrow. To some it brings regret, to some it brings feelings of guilt. But I announce to you, it is for everyone. As for those who fell short in some way or the other, I announce to you, maybe, perhaps, there can be another chance. No one knows but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a moment Allah has brought for us great happiness. Forget every problem for this hour year. Put aside your worry, for greater than your problem is Allah. And that's what we said 6 extra times when we stood up, standing in prayer. That's what we said extra. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Put your trust, your tawakkul in Allah. come here, we were summoned by Allah. Talk to your heart. Oh Allah, you are Lord, Lord of the world. I am your servant. I have come, I have answered your call. You know what is my worry. It's a great day. You solve my problem. Concentrate. Accept Allah as your Lord and the true solver of all problems. Keep your faces as radiant as they are this moment. Filled with the nur that comes from Allah and the mercy which He sends on this day and forgiveness until sunset. MashaAllah, had it not been for the comfort and the softness of the carpets in the floor of the masjid, by now the skins on our forehead would have been peeled off from the various sajdas and frustrations we have been making throughout the month. And I am not yet talking about the sajdas of the regular prayer which we must perform throughout the year, even though Ramadan has come to an end. But I am really referring to what we normally perform, especially during the month of Ramadan. Salatul Tarawih. Have you counted in 20 rakats of Salatul Tarawih every night? 40 sajdas. And we were lucky, we were 30 days. You were talking about 1,200 sajdas we performed. And what about the 14 we did with our reciting Imam Bukhari when he took us down from the standing position way down in prostration with that long Akbar, and from sajda he brought us right up in standing position again. 1,214 sajda, how lucky we are. Iblis didn't make one, and on account of not making one, he became condemned and rejected. How lucky we are that we did it so many times. SubhanAllah, do not underestimate that posture, sajda. You have heard it, that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he was delivered, when he was born, of all the postures unlike other babies of the world, Prophet Muhammad, called peace, as an infant, a little baby, he was found in prostrate. But he fell in sajda. It was not by chance. After so many decades, he said, when he quoted, أقرب ما يكون العبد لربه وهو ساجد. The closest any servant can ever be towards his Lord is when he is in prostration. With your forehead rubbing on the ground like a humble slave, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Glory be to my Lord Most High. Look where he goes, way down to the lowest of the low, to recognize the altitude of Allah. Allah is high. He knows that He is low. He is nothing. SubhanAllah. Everything in the creation performs sajda. Don't you notice even the objects that cannot bend? When the sunlight comes, they throw their shadows right and left, north and south, prostrating in sajda. Look at that. Everything in the universe goes down in sajda. When Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala ordered the children of Adam to prostrate and say, Masjudu, they carried the boat when He made a covenant with them. When the Muslims raised their heads and they saw the disbelievers standing firmly and did not prostrate, you know what the Muslims did? They went down down right back immediately. They went down in a second prostration, and that was to thank Allah for the guidance they had received to obey that command. One sajda after the other. Allah loved that very much, sent to them. Today, how lucky we are in our salah. We have 2 sajdas. Each one equally important. You go down in prostration and you come back. While every rak'ah is one other step. One standing, one bending. It has 2 sajdas. So we mark that event. SubhanAllah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahil hamd. And you read in verse 34, Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. And when we said to the angels, prostrate yourselves to Adam. Asajadu, plural, they all prostrated. Illa Iblis, except Iblis, Abba. He refused, he rejected. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْمُسْتَكْبَرِينَ. He became haughty. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And he was of the disbelievers. If we go to the words of this verse in the Quran, the command was given to the angels alone. But in accepting it is from those who obeyed. The text suggests that the command was given to all the created beings at that time who had some understanding. But Allah, He mentioned the angels alone, because when superior beings like angels can be ordered to prostrate, to show respect to Adam, then inferior creatures like jinns must have been commanded to do the same. It goes without saying. Not that Iblis was an angel. Of course, he was an angel. But all in the creation were ordered to prostrate before Adam. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahil hamd. In this verse, the angels have been commanded to prostrate before Adam. Another verse of the Quran tells us that the parents and the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, on reaching Egypt, they prostrated themselves before him. Chapter 12, verse 100. Evidently, such a prostration cannot have been intended as an act of worship, because that is shirk, and shirk will not have been possibly committed in any sharia at any time. Then what? In the days of ancient prophets, this is how it was, that people would prostrate themselves before someone just as a mark of honor and respect. And it enjoyed the same value as a greeting, a handshake, or a hug of today. Imam Jassas, he said in his explanation of Quran, it was in this Sharia that Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace, prohibited all gestures, like prostrating oneself or bowing down very low, or standing with one hand above the other like you are in salah before someone. Praise be to Allah, He did not say standing generally, but standing with one hand upon the other in the manner that one stands up for salah. He says that should be exclusively for the Creator and the Lord of the world. Standing for Him, no problem. Besides, putting your hands on the waist and where else to see. This is his explanation. The Prophet upon his peace, however, permitted salams, greetings, hugging, and I repeat, he has not only permitted hugging and embracing, but he has encouraged and he is applying that much sins are being shadowy on account of embracing and even shaking the hands of your brothers and sisters, hugging their sisters. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahil hamd. The Quran describes Iblis as an infidel. And his infidelity does not arise from disobedience in his action. For according to the Sharia, giving up an obligation in practice is only a sin and a transgression, and does not constitute the infidelity. What about if a person misses salah? Will he become a kafir? No. He is a sinner. He is a transgressor. But as for a kafir, no, he does not become a kafir. Iblis became an infidel because he had defied and challenged a divine commandment. And in refusing to prostrate himself, virtually he said that Adam was not worthy of it. Be careful how you argue about a command in the Quran or about an order given by the Prophet ﷺ. It's not about why should I do that. I don't see the logic in that. That is what leads to infidelity. One does not do it at any time and then Allah's pardon. Prepare for it and make up. Do not challenge the commands of Allah and His Rasul as it leads to infidelity. So what do you think is the opinion of Iblis regarding Adam, peace be upon him, and his progeny taking residence in paradise? When he thinks that Adam is not worthy of a prostration from him, even though it was a command from Allah. What do you think is Iblis' opinion regarding that? You think about it. Go in the Surah Ar-Ra'd. Look at Allah's kindness and mercy. He created Iblis, caused him to reside in heaven, ordered him as he wanted, made a prostration to Adam. Iblis refused. Allah could have said, get out. The first command, the first word from Allah could have been, get out from here. Without any reason and without any dialogue. But look how Allah created the avenue for dialogue. He said, what prevented you from prostrating when I ordered you? Iblis in reply, he said, I am better than he. Be careful with that statement. Anytime it comes to you, seek refuge in Allah. Never even harbor that in your mind. I am better than he. I am better than they. Never think it. It should not cross your mind, for you don't know. This is what brought cautioned Iblis. Right, I am better than he. And he explained, خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ, you created me from fire, وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ طِينٍ, and you created him from clay. Allah said, فَأْتِتْ مِنْهَا, you better go down. فَمَا يَكُونُ لَكَ أَنْ تَتَكَبَّرَ فِيهَا. Here is not a place for you to be arrogant. Iblis was scolded, but it came with dilution. Whenever you scold someone, but while scolding, you bring a reason, with some explanation, it is being diluted. It is not like saying, get out from here, fine, get out. This was not the case. He had dialogue with Iblis. Innaka mina as-sabirin, you are low. Iblis now realizes that Allah didn't just tell him, get out, but had dialogue with him. He took full advantage of that opportunity. He stood up there and he asked for something. He asked for something. قَالَ أَنْذِرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. Then grant me respite until the day when they shall all be resurrected. Allah's reply was, إِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنْذَرِينَ. قَالَ إِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنْذَرِينَ. Respite is granted to you. Iblis asked for something that was so strange. Give me respite until the day of resurrection. Allah's words were, respite is granted to you, but it was nowhere mentioned, respite granted to you until the day of judgment. No, we read the Quran in Surah Rahman, where Allah said, كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Everyone thereon will pass away. Everyone. And there was no exception. وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. And to remain will be the countenance of your Lord, the possessor of majesty and honor. And where this will be, he will be God. Everyone will pass on. Only Allah will remain. But judgment didn't come yet. Iblis' request was, grant me respite until the day of judgment. Then the question is, until when Iblis will be granted respite? Another verse tells us, إِلَى يَوْمِ الْوَقْتِ الْمَعْلُومِ, until the day of the appointed time. When is that? When the first trumpet will be blown. And everyone who is alive will die. Iblis as well will die. And you know it. Between the blowing of the first trumpet and the blowing of the second trumpet, which brings the day of judgment, it will be a very, very long day. So Iblis was granted his prayer, but not fully, partially, only until a certain time. Iblis still there. He got part of what he asked for. Now he begins to talk. Allah, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي, because you have led me astray. And whom is he talking to? Allah, the Lord of the world. لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطَكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ. I will sit in ambush. Where? On your straight path. Iblis didn't say, I will sit in ambush in the rum shops and in the gambling books. Why should he sit there when he has those already with him? I will sit in ambush on your straight path. So of all the places, where do you think he will choose to come? In the masjid. Standing over by the door, in the yard, in the marketplaces. even those in Africa. What? Remember, the rebellious ones will be chained. The small fellas still come and try their little something. I will sit in ambush for them on your street path. Look at the explanation. Then I will come to them. Min bani aydihim, from in front of them, wa min khalfihim, and from the back of them, wa an aymanihim, wa an shama'ilihim, from their right and from their left. وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ, and you will not find much of them to be thankful. All this bayan and lecture, Iblis is given to the Lord of the world. And this was when Allah said, get out from here. Rejected and condemned. Whoever follows you among them, I will fill the Jahannam with all of you together. That was Allah's promise. From these verses, we see that Shaitan was commanded to leave the heavens not once, twice. Twice. In verse 13 and in verse 18. The first time, it was said to be a proposal. Where the second time, it was an implementation of that proposal. The first time, you better go down. Here is not a place for you to be arrogant. Take an example. Son is living in father's house. Father is accommodating him. But son is playing loud music and disturbing the old man. He got warning. He didn't give the father said, now, son, you better go find a place. Here is not a place for you to play loud music. By saying these words, here is not a place for you to play loud music. It is a kind of admonition. You are putting him to be in an apologetic mood. To show that he is sorry, to come up with a contrite heart, to show remorse. But in the case of Iblis here, instead of showing remorse and maybe say, I am sorry, I will never do that again. After all that dialogue between him and the Lord of the world, who diluted the scolded, instead of being in that apologetic mode, he was bold enough to stand up and look what he asked for. Give me respite until the last day. He didn't ask for something that was simple or ordinary. And he was branching up. Okay, for him that wasn't enough. He stood up in arrogance and he threatened. He threatened. And he swore, without doubt, surely I will do that. Mislead your servants, take them away from the straight path. My brothers and sisters, what made Iblis speak the way he did before Allah? The place where Iblis dared to speak was in the most august presence of the Master of all honor, where the awe and the majesty of the occasion would not even allow angels, prophets, or messengers to even breathe. Commentating scholars said about this, but this was a serious and highly cutting manifestation of the divine God. That because of the rejection of Iblis, his view became so obstructive that he became blind to the grandeur and awe of Allah Ta'ala. And irreverence came down to settle on him from everywhere. This answers a great question. When we read about messengers who were sent by Allah and they were loved by Allah, they were given a scripture, they were spoken to, and when you hear about human beings abusing them physically and verbally, insulting them, you wonder how could they do that to a prophet, a messenger of Allah? And even today you see children will stand up to their parents and behave in such a very obnoxious manner, so rudely. Or a person stands up to his leader and becomes so abusive, any leader. Why this can happen? The answer to this can be sourced from this very chapter. We seek refuge in Allah that we incur this wrath of any quantity, causing us to become blind and far from His light and mercy, where we fail to recognize the values of others and even fail to recognize who we are. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahil hamd. Look at the assault of shaitan. It is indeed multi-dimensional. From the verse here, Satan will come from the front, from the back, from the right, and from the left. It does not mean here that his approach will be restricted. But he will come from everywhere, because we have learned from the hadith that the Satan can enter the human body through the arteries and the veins of the blood. And he can have full command of the body. When shaitan flows in the veins and arteries like the blood, tell me, what is there that prevents him from coming from on top or from beneath the feet? One who can stand up so shamelessly in the most august presence of Allah Ta'ala and be so rude, what prevents him from entering from any direction he wishes to the children of Adam? Nothing. Shaitan flows in our veins and arteries like the blood, whispering to us all the time. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and sisters, it is time that we learn about the tricks and the deception of Iblis. When Allah can mention in so many places in His clean and pure book, warning the children of Adam about Iblis, I have no regrets in using a Khutba for Eid Ul Fitr to remind myself and you about the dangers of shaitan and how eager he is to grab and snatch away all that we have worked so hard for during the month of Ramadan and in other times. My friends, know it. We must know a little bit of Iblis' qualification, and if you hear his resume, you will put your hands on your head and seek refuge. He is indeed very educated. Iblis had attained such high degree in science and other knowledge that he was called Tawusul Malaika. Tawusul Malaika, the peacock among the angels. That is how he was known. The peacock among the angels. And you will recall his intervention in the very first murder. The role he played when Cain wanted to kill his brother. In just 1 minute, Cain took his brother to the wilderness and wanted to kill him, but Cain didn't know how to kill. He squeezed his brother and he hugged him up very tightly, hugging someone will kill. So don't be afraid to hug. Hugging someone will not kill them. When Iblis was writing, so he was trying to kill his brother. So he ran and got an animal and brought it in front of Cain, placed it on top of a rock, took another rock and smashed the head, killing the beast. When Cain saw that, he said, now I know how to kill. He did the same thing. He took a stone and smashed the head of his brother Abel, finishing him. What happened right after? Iblis ran out of speed to Hawa, Cain killed Abel, as if he was the most proficient reporter. And he knew nothing about that. We must learn about the craftiness and the deception of Iblis. Only then we can be able to preserve and protect the wealth we have. I mean the wealth, the Amal Salihah and the Hasanat we have. My beloved brothers and sisters, it is Allah's order after informing Inna Shaitan lakum aduwwun, indeed Satan is your enemy. So you take him as an enemy. Take him as an enemy. إِنَّمَا يَدْعُو حِزْبَهُ لِيَكُونُوا مِنْ أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. He only summons his actions that they can be the companions of the flaming fire. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahil hamd. Nearing the end, Satan is indeed very enthusiastic that this day has come. He is out of his chains and shackles. He was out of a job for 1 month. You know what it is to be out of a job for a month? Out of a job. He has come with all his energy. He's very happy. He has knowledge. He knows throughout the days and nights of Ramadan, the believers will grant forgiveness. Whoever stands up in Tarawih prayer with Iman and hope for blessing, their sins shall be forgiven. Whoever stands up, whoever observes the fast with Iman and hope for blessing, their sins shall be forgiven. The fishes in the sea, when Iblis was kept, those fishes were saying something. You were telling me, Iblis, didn't hear that? What the fishes were saying, oh Allah, you forgive the sins of the fasting servants from morning, the time you tie your knee, until sunset, every day for 30 days. Oh Allah, forgive the sins of your fasting servants. Iblis understands every language. He understands signals and ishara. He is in a rage. He is very enthusiastic. He is very eager to launch an attack. He and his entourage, they want to catch us all. Have you seen a man who is going to catch fish? What makes him very excited? Not just a large pond or lake. What makes him excited is not a pond that has landscape, beautiful garden with flowers. That doesn't mean anything to a fisherman. What makes him very excited is when he sees life in the water. Everywhere splish, splash, and he sees fishes everywhere. He can't wait to throw his hook. Everywhere you have fishes. And that's the case with Shaitan today. The believers are loaded. They are loaded. We need to know how he comes so that we can be able to preserve. His intention is to convert all this heap of Amal Salihah and Hasanah into sins. Bit by bit, he wants to wash them away. And when there are no deeds, he attacks the Iman. He attacks the faith. And when that is gone, destruction. If faith is gone, or even faith with little deeds or none, we have a great problem. Nobody will help anyone on the day of judgment. Ibrahim alayhi salam will meet his father Azar on the day of judgment. You have heard how much he admonished his father and begged him to abandon the worship of idols. You know what ASJA on meeting this song will say? Oh, Beta, my son in me. Today I will listen to everything you tell me. I will not disobey you. The heart of Father Abraham will, like many in the creation, will melt. He will say, oh Allah, you promised me not to disgrace me on the day when they shall be resurrected. Allah will say, oh Abraham, look at the back of you. When Father Abraham will look, he will see that his father has now been transformed into a male hyena, a dog-like flesh-eating animal covered with dung. Then this hyena will be held by the feet and flung into the fire. By all means, no one in the gathering will know that is the father of Abraham. But come on, and Abraham knows that's his father. My brothers and sisters, if you have to save your family, your loved ones, husband, wife, children, father, mother, from the burning fire, the time to do it is now. Save yourself, save your family, your loved ones from the burning fire. It cannot happen on the day of judgment. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. Friends, in conclusion, the restriction of the fast has been lifted. The burden of Tarawih has disappeared. But the approach of Qiyamah still remains in effect. The grave still calls out day and night. Children of Adam, I am a place of loneliness. I am a place of darkness and solitude. Hell continues to remain in ambush. Are we then going to stop coming to the mosque? Are we going to stop praying on the Salah? Are we going to stop giving charity and helping the poor? Are we going to stop all these actions? No, we cannot afford to do it. But we have to make this year 2030 different from all the previous years. Do not just be settled to listen to all the lessons we have accumulated. We can become so intent. Do not think that we have it all, we have it enough. And take a holiday for 11 months until someone tells you the moon has been sighted for Ramadan. You can only hope, but my brothers and sisters, none of us can be sure to witness another Ramadan. I therefore end by telling you, keep the house of Allah alive. Keep the house of Allah filled with prosperity. Just as you occupy your seats on evenings when there were iftar, and mashallah, you know how lovely it looked. If only you know how lovely it looked to see so many Muslim men, women in separation, of course. So when brothers have come to the house of Allah, like real servants, brothers and sisters, they're joining together, keeping the house of Allah filled with prosperity. Just as you came, always know that activities in Princess Masjid, Jama Masjid, run throughout the year. We have classes. Come and hear what the Quran has to offer. Come and hear about what exists in hell and heaven. Come and hear how we can save ourselves and our family from the burning fire. Before day comes when there will be no more warnings. And we will be shedding some tears of blood that comes from the eyes. I beg of you. Martyrs continue here throughout Sundays, find out from the teachers. While we have the children hold up in a TV and play computer games, knowing that Quran is being taught here. Find out the days. We have our program. Wherever they are, you come out and support. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the world. So, by keeping the houses of Allah filled with prosperity, He has promised to save us from all natural disasters. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل الله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده